Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Boulanger. And up next, man, we're going to get into um, answering a question, right? Have the Baltimore Ravens already lost the 2023 season? And should they tank for Caleb Williams? You see, I posed this question, man, because I'm looking around at all the moves being made, players switching teams, big sign, and so on and so forth. And the only thing we've seen from the Baltimore Ravens at this point in free agency, as we are, about 16 hours in, is a tender for um, Tyler Huntley and then the re-signing of Justice Hill. And I don't know about you guys, but none of that moves the needle, right? Now, we heard from the Baltimore Ravens that they were going to upgrade the wide receiver group. Okay. Now, I don't care necessarily what's going on with Lamar Jackson, whether he's coming back or whether it's Tyler Huntley or whether it's a rookie, right? And what I mean by I don't care is that the quarterback situation is going to work itself out. Whoever's going to be pulling the trigger is going to be pulling the trigger, but they still ain't got nobody to throw it to. We're gonna right now as we stand here, basically 4 days into free agency. Even though free agency started at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, the tampering period started on Monday, and we've been quiet and still, and really haven't done anything that of any notoriety. I get it. We don't have the cap space. I get it. We don't know what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson, but yet and still, what was said was we were going to upgrade the wide receiver position. And there has not been one iota of a rumor that the Baltimore Ravens had any interest in anybody. Not Lazard, he's gone. Not Jacoby Myers, he's gone. Uh, Juju Smith-Schuster, he's gone. Now there's a couple of more guys, but there is no rumor anywhere that Baltimore is going to go after anybody. And so I understand that you may have to roll with Tyler Huntley, and I got another video coming up, man, that'll address what I think needs to happen. But yet and still, that don't mean we don't do anything. And and so it almost looks like Baltimore may be better benefited by tanking the 2023 season. I know you can't tank, literally like you could in the NBA, but what are we going to be playing for? If we're not playing for a championship, then what are we playing for? Right? If we're not trying to get into the playoffs, then what are we playing for? If we're not trying to win the division, then what are we playing for? Even with the Cincinnati Bengals losing both their starting safeties and their starting tight end, they still are in position to keep moving forward. The Steelers added some pieces. They're still in position to move forward, right? The Jets are trying to move forward. Buffalo lost a couple of pieces, but they're still trying to move forward. The New England Patriots didn't make the playoffs, but they're still trying to move forward. Miami Dolphins made some moves. They building a bully down there in Miami. They're still trying to move forward, but Baltimore seems to be stuck in park. Not even neutral. Neutral means the engine's running, but they're stuck in park. And so and free agency is basically over, right? For the Baltimore Ravens, to make any big moves. There's a couple of good defensive players out there. There's a couple of cornerbacks that are available. Rocky Yassin, which you guys have heard me talk about, is still available. And so, maybe Baltimore builds out their defense. Maybe Baltimore goes after a Leonard Floyd, pass rusher, something like that. But other than those defensive pieces, there's nothing really offensively available. There's some good tight ends out there, but we already got tight ends, right? And there's some solid wide receivers still left. Adam Thielen's out there, Paris Campbell's out there, but are they going to move the needle? Now some of them could come in and be an upgrade over Demarcus Robinson or Devin Duvernay from last year. But I'm just wondering, like, what are we doing? And is it more beneficial just to hit pause on this season, man? Just, what I'm saying? Just go through the motions, keep everybody healthy as much as possible, and then let's just see if we can be in position to draft Caleb Williams. Now, of course, that will take us to having the number one seed. But I think without Lamar Jackson, we could certainly be in that 4 to 5 win range. Well, why would I say that? Because here's the deal. The only reason why we've been in playoff contention is Lamar Jackson. Let's just be honest. There's nobody else been carrying the load besides Jackson. So if you remove him, right? If you remove his 8 wins from last year, okay, we're not 10-7. We could have potentially been 2-10. I mean, excuse me. 2-15. Now you can give Tyler Huntley a couple of more wins, but we're a 4 or 5 win team at best. And I think with adding no wide receiver depth at this point, we're in position to do that. Now, can Baltimore, do something where they sacrifice a pick next year to go get a wide receiver? They certainly could, like a Hopkins, like a Mike Evans, so on and so forth. Yeah, they certainly could do that. But for what? For what? Unless you're going the rookie right at quarterback and you want him to have a solid number one, as a surefire security blanket, that makes sense. But right now, it doesn't look like we don't have any direction. And Baltimore had to see this coming, right? As smart as EDC, John Harbaugh, and as smart as it would have taken to be a billionaire, Steve Bisciotti, they had to see this coming. They had to see that if a deal wasn't done in 2 years, that the potential to get it done was going to be less likely. So there's an article that's out there that says Baltimore is prepared to go into the season without Lamar. And so they're, basically what they're saying is they're going to get Tyler Huntley ready, or maybe they're looking at a rookie quarterback. I don't know all the behind the scenes workings. Matter of fact, I don't know any of the behind the scenes workings. I just know what we see on the front stage is a lackluster um, free agency thus far. All your top wide receivers are going to be gone. Um, this week is going to close out very slow, I believe. You're going to see a push at the beginning of next week, which will be the second wave of free agency, which is when the Baltimore Ravens usually do their work. But there's little work to be done at the wide receiver position. Adam Thielen says he wants to play for a contender, but without Lamar Jackson, we're not a contender. So I don't see Adam Thielen being an option. Paris Campbell, he'll probably end up down in Carolina, reunite with Frank Wright, um, or maybe another team who just needs a third option, a good third option. Because he's the best young wide receiver available. There's a couple of other guys. There's DJ Sharp. I like him a lot. In fact, he's a former Pro Bowler, got good size, weight, and speed. He's about 6'3", 210, runs a 4.3 40. That could be an option for Baltimore. That's something they don't have. Well, they have that in Rashad Bateman, but they don't have another guy like him. But I think if I just don't see where we go from here. And so if we don't really pick up any quality at the wide receiver position to build in some good depth, I think we're going to get more of the same. And without Lamar Jackson doing the heavy lifting, we're a top 5 drafting team, and I'm okay with that. Let me say that first. I'm okay if Baltimore decides to go into rebuild mode, specifically offensively, in order to get a young quarterback next year, specifically Caleb Williams. Okay. Um, so and that's just kind of where I am. Um, the Chicago Bears, man, they're building a bully out there in Chicago for sure. A lot of other teams have made some nice moves. A lot of AFC teams lost some pieces. Um, haven't heard a lot of movement down in Jacksonville. Uh, Cincinnati lost a lot of pieces. Uh, the Philadelphia Eagles lost a lot of pieces, especially defensively. I know I saw some articles that was thirst trapping Darius Slay to Baltimore, but looks like Darius Slay is going back to the Philadelphia Eagles. And so unless Baltimore unless Baltimore go ahead and build that defense out, you know what I'm saying, build a stud defensively, front to back, and then go totally young offensively. I don't really know what the plan is, man. Let me know what you guys are seeing. Um, at in free agency. Let me know what you guys think the plan is, what you guys are assuming, that the Baltimore Ravens are doing, because it looks like to me tanking for Caleb Williams is certainly an option. Again, I'm not against that. Um, uh, I don't think that even with Lamar Jackson, um, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be real contenders because there's not any wide receivers out there that's going to move the needle uh, unless there's a trade coming. So right now, man, as a Baltimore Ravens fan, the water is so muddy, even beyond the Lamar Jackson situation. The water is so muddy that I can't really see what we're doing. Um, and so I'm not totally against hitting total rebuild. And I told you guys that in a video back when I said Ravens need to go total rebuild. Uh, I would just go total rebuild offensively. Let Todd Monken pick the groceries on offense, quarterback, wide receiver, so on and so forth. And then let's just get ready for 2024 because I don't want to get my hopes up. You know what I'm saying? If LJ comes back, get my hopes up that we might have a shot, but we're going to walk into the season with the same type caliber weapons. And so I don't see them being able to get Lamar Jackson back and then make a real move to get some quality at wide receiver. So, man, let me know what you guys want me to know, man. I think the Baltimore Ravens are certainly losing in free agency. I think free agency is almost already over for Baltimore. And I think that the 2023 season is almost a loss at this point. But listen, I got another fire video coming up about some scenarios that would certainly advance Baltimore into their future absent Lamar Jackson. So appreciate you guys. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.